I personally think that there ought to be more and more studios of art that will open up this untapped energy from our resources. I have personally also engaged on certain embassies, which I can say now, that have agreed to put up youth centers for purposes of growing art. We have seen amazing talents in the way the youth can sing. We have seen amazing talents in the way youth can create. We have the entire ocean within which creativity can be tapped. We have the entire land within which creativity can be tapped. We have the air and the skies. We have an entire total extensity of how art can grow, music can grow. And these resources are available to us without a cost. What we need to do, therefore, is to mobilize resources so that this can be formalized in our education system. Art is not for purposes of the name, it's for purposes of creation of opportunities such as we see them today. It is these little efforts that we've seen our friends who have come here to participate and to do the exchanges that we shall get. Past this, I know a lot will have been exchanged, but there's more to be done. The opportunities are limited, and I do think that policy-wise, we need to pick the narrative and run with it. We've wasted so much time because we allocated resources almost randomly without a structure as to how to develop our youth. They speak for themselves because they redirect how they fancy their future to be. They've explained themselves that they can sing, they can produce, they can engage in art and music. And that's important for the country and for the region, especially for the county. One is the structural, the infrastructure element is not available for the youth for purposes of producing art, producing music. The second will be, for me, the law. The law is weak. We need to transform, we need to engage in legal sanctity that helps art growth. For instance, an intellectual property or a copyright produced through art and music must be able to be protected so that whoever is the whoever produces that benefits. For instance, if you produce your music, there'll be limited income for you because of piracy and abuse of your talent and production. We've seen that even in literal works, where literal works are also abused. So that creativity in this country does not count on account of weak law. So weak legal systems is what we need to look at. Personally, if I get to Parliament, if I get to the Senate, I'll be advocating for enhanced laws in terms of the sanctity to infrastructure, to develop that. More importantly, in intellectual property matters, copyright, industrial designs, and so on and so forth. They're still weak, and they're not even customer, because we've borrowed lots of that from out of the country without customizing them properly. To look at the youth, the localized youth, and what art would entail. It is the art, obviously, that is in the US or UK, is not the art that we have here. There's an element of comparison, but there's an element of difference too. And that's the difference that we need to harness as the strength towards the competitive edge that our art, our music could have in this country. Lastly, of course, is resource mobilization, where we can have enough funding for purposes of developing art. We've seen funding for agriculture, we've seen funding for tourism sector, we've seen funding for education sector, and so on and so forth. There's little emphasis on funding for art. I think that's one of the areas that we need to mobilize, so that then if you're an artist, you're not seen as, you know, on the fringes of economic participation and growth in this country. You are part and parcel of society, and in fact that's a source of employment, a source of income, source of revenue, and therefore we can mobilize our youth, all of them who are artists, who are musicians, who are in all this, so that then instead of saying there is no employment, there is real employment on account of what we enable our youth and our society to do.
Hello everyone, my name is Zorka Wolny and I'm here as a curator and the director of Duos Festival that I co-curate with Shiroji. And what is Duos Festival? Duos Festival is a part of a big project that is dedicated to art and education. And we work with many partners here in Kenya. We are coming from Academy of Fine Arts from Poland. We work here with Kenyatta University, we work here with Pwani University. We have also partners in local, like for example, Technical University of Mombasa, but also beneath Baobabs. Our partner is also a national museum in Poland, in Szczecin. And the idea is that we meet for 1 month, one artist from Kenya and one artist from Poland, and they work together. And they work together on the project, and they work together with students, they work together with the local community to come up with different fields of arts. So today and tomorrow we have a final presentations which present what these duos have been doing for the last 3 weeks. And we will have animation, journalism, dance, music, textile design. All these things are for people to see, and the festival is dedicated to people of Kilifi, dedicated to young, creative, talented people. So also all these events are just for free to share the knowledge, to share the experience. This is what we I think it's always important, and I truly believe that sharing experience and exchanging what we know and what we've learned is beneficial for everyone, you know. So we are very happy that we can collaborate here with Kenyan artists because we learn something new about the culture. We learn something new about it, how art and education function in other parts of the world. And we can help with our expertise, but we are also humble enough to learn how the things are done here, you know. And the project will continue. So now the Kenyan artists will come to Poland. They will visit Szczecin Academy. They will have an exhibition in a national museum in Szczecin. So the perspective will switch. And we also look forward to how this project will develop, because it's supposed to lead for maybe long, many years collaboration. Because it's all under the umbrella of TPAE, which is a bigger project, which can eventually lead for maybe visual arts being implemented at Pwani University with help of Kenyatta University. So we are the first group. The festival is like a group that is coming first to research what's going on here on the coast and to help community and the artists prepare that something big is planned.
Good morning everyone, my name is Sheila Okanga and I am part of the Duos Festival. I am one of the artists that's been paired up with Isabella from Poland, and we are the animation team. We have 6 students with us, a mixture of students from Pwani University and students from the community who were all very interested in animation. I myself am not actually an animator, but I've learned a lot about it, and I'm really honored to have had this chance to do this because it has helped me find also the wealth of talent that is in Kilifi. I'm really grateful for this program because it is giving a chance to the people on the coast, especially who are very, very creative, to make a springboard forward with their challenges, with their talents, where before they used to reach a point where, you know, utaenda kwa hoteli and you just perform or whatever and that's it. There's no going forward. You hit a ceiling and that's it. The other thing is that this space that we are in is actually an organization that Zorka, who you talked to before, really helped to help us put together and promote and get together. It's called the Daughters of Mekatilili, and it is female artists at the moment. And this space is allowed, one of the objectives, as I see it, and really, really inspires me, is that all the artists that have learnt, all the students that have learnt over this Duos Festival, we can provide a space or an opportunity where they can come and teach what they've learnt. That way, it doesn't die with them. It doesn't stop when our Polish colleagues leave. It also continues, and it also can help make curating for the next much easier as people start learning and coming out of the woodwork to follow their dreams in the art space.
You've been doing animation there.
Yeah.
For the last students. What have you been doing?
Okay, we have worked mainly on 3 productions. In animation, there's different types. Okay, the type of animation that we're learning here is called stop motion. Yeah, it's where you move the object and then take a picture. Yeah. I would like to, Lucas, who is one of our students, yeah, has been very instrumental in making sure that some of the things are put together and doing it, and he's the one who gives a tour to everybody because it's really, the process is very interesting. So we can work with clay, modeling clay, we can work with little puppets, we can work with charcoal drawings, yeah, and then there's also one called pixelation, which actually involves people. So our first one was pixelation, and we did something on that, and then we also worked with my duo's partner in schools, with Seahorse School and the school Kilimo Primary inside the university, to do the pixelation with the children, and that was very, very interesting. But otherwise, apart from the pixelation work, there's been 2 major projects we've worked on which mix all the medias, right? And the first one was one of the duo's partners from the music ones is Shangazi, and Shangazi wrote a poem, and we have done an animation to that poem. Yeah, it's actually, she narrates it, it's in Kigiriama. Yeah, it's called Daughter-in-Law. You might have heard of it if you live on the coast. And then the other animation is part of the story of Metakilili wa Mwenza, yeah, the famous slap, but told from the chicken's point of view. So that one's also very interesting the way it's done. They're not very long movies, but animation is a painstaking process. It takes long. So each one of them is about 3 minutes long. Yeah, and it's taken us this long to make 3-minute long films. Yeah, and I hope you will at least be able to come this evening to try Bandas and see what we have produced at 7 o'clock.